Hey guys, Thomas Leroy here. um, I've been trying to make a message about what I heard this morning. Someone who seemed to, be using some of the biblical terminology while at the same time using the New Age stuff, talking about the false reality matrix and vibration and frequency and that kind of thing. Um, they said that you should hold the light. Now, the reason, there was a couple different things there that they were talking about that said to me that, well, maybe they're not exactly on the right wavelength, you know. Um, but they said one thing that told me that they most definitely were incorrect. Um, and it may just be they're poetic or something like that. Uh, or maybe they bought into some satanic lie. And they said uh, they all have light. We all have light, or you all have light, even if you don't know it. Something to that effect. And I thought, well, I'd like to think that. But what I have been showing again and again, and of course, hey, we can only go on what is shown to us as to be the reality. That there's a whole bunch of people out there that don't have any light whatsoever. None whatsoever. Nor are they supposed to have any connection to the light. Because they're of that group called the wicked. Or satanic, demonic. And as far as I can tell, regardless of what terminology you do use, it really does come down to you're either of the light, that, the kind that flies circles around the sun, or those who play ring around the rosy, which is to, be of the fire and the darkness and such. And that's really all there is to it. Because death, doom, destruction, eternal death, all that blah, 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 all goes with, one side. Eternal life and light and good love, blah, 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 all that stuff goes with the other side. Now, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, I'm of this, but I'm of that too. And there are those out there who have been trying to do that and would try to force me into being a part of those undecided kind, I do believe. But guys, it really does seem, I know that there's stuff about the Bible that is putting people off. And part of it is it does seem that it's not complete. And that some of those in the process of writing it were not done with the process. Okay? And we're experiencing entities that were not necessarily all from the same place or of the same vibe. That's what I have determined from it. Plus, also, when you consider who it was or whom it was that cobbled together the book and their satanic-like practices, it's difficult, to that in itself could be enough to put people off of God altogether. But they were talking about, keeping their vibration up high, and this was one of the most important moments in history. And the world is going through a transition. Stuff is happening. There's an event that's occurring, and all I can tell you is that I really truly do believe that you're either on the side of that which it's all based on and made by and through, or you're going for some type of other system, which would allow you to, I would hope, repeat, perhaps. I don't know if it's possible or not, but it does seem like the satanic does have a recycling system, and that, you know, that whole karmic system type of thing. Um, but I would think that you'd just be a lot better off if you actually got in with that God, you know. And I still invite the Prince of Peace to come live here with me each and every day. Well, every time I can think of it, you know, I would say, Prince of Peace, you're still invited to come live here with me, because we know the value of peace. And we know that hate is not something that's a part of me, and that these things are very different. The light's very different from them of darkness, and hate is very different from love. Peace is very different from the turmoil and conflict that is inherent to it, or I should say, appears to be inherent to the satanic, demonic, and all those of the dark forces. The only reason why I'm making this video is because there's a whole bunch of people out there who I do believe have been misled by the use of words like love, and who would work against the heaven itself because of some weird misperception given to them by the satanic. In other words, those who will not be ascending, those that are only going to be descending. And while they have lots of powers and abilities and can do this, that, and another, they're still not able to leave and leave the reality, even with their science and their magic and all that stuff. They have not been able to find a way to transition from what apparently is a physical existence. So be sure you're not working against the light. If you think of yourself as light, he was advising people to hold the light. Well, be sure you're not holding down the light or doing anything to impede the light. The only thing you really should be doing is magnifying the light. You should make sure that it's not. I mean, there might be some point where we all want to shine the light out to everything and everyone, and I, you know, can understand we're supposed to shine on others and stuff, and that's good. Because, you know, but again, pearls before swine. We don't want to do that. We don't want to be trying to fill up the Grand Canyon with bricks. And I'm not trying to save the evil dead that already became the eternal dead. I'm, you know, we're just, you don't want to put, you know, but don't work against the light. Don't, whatever, if you've been sold this thing about the demiurge and all that stuff, you're being sold a line by that which intends on keeping you. I know a lot of people think that they're their own God, and well, yeah, okay, in a sense, it says right there in the book you are. But where does your energy come from? Do you have a source? Are you a sorcerer? Do you know how to get good love? Do you know how to get all these things, all these spiritual, these energies and stuff? Can you command that? Because if not, you really need to get in with the good guys and help them and work for them, even if it's hurting and bad and it's not fun. It seems like it's a slave ship. You really want to get in with those guys and be a part of that, because you're earning your way out of what they would call the false reality matrix, or the prison system. And the reason why there is a prison system is because we're not all the same. There is no such thing as equality. I heard one of them talking about equality the other day, and I was like, you idiot. Okay, because there is no such thing. And those that are all thinking that, well, we're going to make things equal between the masculine and the feminine, blah, blah, blah. It's all satanic, guys. That's just a bunch of satanic junk. And it will lead you to well, I wouldn't even say nowhere, because that's a nice place from what I understand. I think it will only lead to eternal repeating, probably. Eternal repetition. No, I'm not sure. I can't say for sure, but I do know that I'm aligned with the light, and life and heaven and those people of God. And I know that it's a part of me. And I've had more than one experience to explain that to me and show me that. So, um, don't think that you're supposed to go to the central sun and take whatever you want and go off and live fantasy lives, this and that, and think that that's the way it's going to go for you and that it's going to pay off for you, because you're actually working against that which you were supposed to be working for, so that you can be pulled out of the darkness and ride, because there will be an end to the story. The world, as far as I can tell, absolutely must have an ending so that the new one can begin. You see? And I do know that there's a whole bunch of people that don't go with the new one, are not invited into the new world, because they made up their mind about who they are and what they are and how they're going to operate. And they, have told the heaven and the creator God and all that, them who created the world and all that, they're not interested in it. I myself don't believe I'm in that world. It seems I'm in a side world that, while I was used to create the bitty world that we're in, it's not the world I'm supposed to be in, I don't believe, and it was created by evil, dark people. So, and I'm not going to stay with it. There's no way I'm going to stay with dark entities in a dark world. I'm geared and manufactured, made to be something that goes through darkness and or the night, but I don't stay. I don't become a part of it. It's not me. It's like I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world. I might be in the darkness, but I'm not of the darkness. It's not me. It's like I was saying the other day. It's not my tribe. It's not my vibe. So you want to support that which is the light and the life, if you want to be a part of that. Otherwise, you're going to be in some other situation that's going to be a lot more competitive than you ever thought was possible. I know they play real nice with those who they have recruited, okay? But whenever the lights leave, whenever the lights go out, and you're just left with the dark things that have pretended that they have light or do have some light for that time being, the things will be very different between you and them. So anytime you're motivated by anything that's of hate, well, I'm going to just stop right here, because I've tried to do this several times. And I think what it is we've come to a point that it's just way too late to try and turn people. I mean, that's what I was doing for, all those many years. I was trying to reason with people, and say, hey, this is the wrong path and the wrong way. But they weren't really listening. They didn't, as far as I can tell, it's just basically, to them, it's like, well, if they have the power to do something, then, like sociopaths, then that's what it's right to do. And I don't know why they would ever think that, well, okay, I'm just going to leave it there, and I hope the best for you. I hope that, I saw one of them the other day talking about alignment. Well, get aligned. You really do want to be in one camp or the other, guys. You really do. It's, and as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? That's why people give their lives to Christ and say, let me live my life for you. And because they're earning their way out of the place where dangerous things are housed, and have a possible, potential to evolve into something that is not dangerous, and something that can be brought into the house and be trusted not to be a harm to anyone there or to the house itself. And I've had personal experience with that, and it's obvious that there are those that can't be trusted to not harm the very house in which they would be a part of. That is, in a nutshell, what the entire false matrix reality, quote unquote, world is about and for. It's so that the Christ, he who is the reality generator, the one life, can bring in more to become part. He was the one saving grace. See, he was the part that was that allowed you through whatever suffering you had to go through to get out. Whereas a whole bunch of people who would rely upon their own abilities to be a god unto themselves and or to be pleasing to the Father, Yahweh, or something like that. Whew, you know, that's a lot harsher. It requires a lot more, I do believe. I'm not sure, but I'm just guessing that. And so I'm just gonna let it go there, guys. And blessings.